The next part of the meditation featured the lyrics, "The devil's on your shoulder, the stranger's in your head, as if you don't remember, as if you can forget. It's only been a moment, it's only been a lifetime." And Spirit speaks to this wake up moment that is happening specifically within the physical years of 2022 to 2024. That we are collectively having a wake up moment. And I think in the past, Spirit even referred to this as a metaphorical experience of death or a near death experience collectively. And what we're going to be noticing specifically over the next 2 years is that it's going to become even more and more difficult to deal with other people's issues when they begin to impact our own. Spirit says that as we become more sensitive, we also feel more vulnerable to being manipulated. And we can begin to almost take the world personally because we are feeling it at such a sensitive level. And one of the masteries of the alchemy at this state of existence is that we learn to step back with detachment. We cannot allow other people's stuff to lead us into reacting from our old wounds. We are encouraged to set boundaries and that these goblins will fall asleep. And this was very, very poignant from Spirit's perspective. The setting boundaries and the goblins will fall asleep. So if we find ourselves in a situation which feels unjust or unfair or misaligned, when we remember that we are being true to ourselves and we set the boundaries that we know who we are and we trust in what we are doing, the goblins have nothing left to cling to. So they have to fall asleep. And Spirit says, love is the only answer. And the last lyrics in this part were, "I ain't giving my freedom for your money and status. I ain't trading my dreams for no 401k. I ain't giving this fire for a cold, cold heart." And the feeling that the soul is not willing any longer to give away the truth of its freedom for the ego's money or the ego's idea of status. It's no longer willing to trade the quality of soul for a 401k or for some perceived level of security in the physical matrix. And it's no longer giving away its personal fire for the cold, cold heart, which Spirit's calling the adult heart, or the heart that has forgotten its innocence or its purity. And so, once again, we are encouraged to remember that fear is simply an illusion. It's a game that we came here to play and experience, and that we are always given the opportunity to choose love. And the last part of this part of the meditation, we were encouraged to forgive ourselves and others. And just like letting go, Spirit acknowledges that the word forgiveness can conjure this feeling in the human of anger or resentment that we are allowing something or someone or some situation to get away with an injustice if we forgive them. When in reality, from Spirit's perspective, forgiveness is really thanking ourselves at the level of soul for giving ourselves this experience of mastery, this experience of learning. It is not about letting someone off the hook, because their karma is going, their life is going to teach them what we couldn't. But when we give ourselves the freedom to forgive ourselves and others, in the situation, to realize at the level of soul, there is no such thing as forgiveness, because it's all acceptance, it's all allowance, then we can no longer carry that heavy burden. We no longer have to bring that suffering forth, and we can walk forward in a new sense of joy and love and freedom.
Beautiful stuff. We come up with all these little silly words to basically speak to this concept of respecting the pure, the most high, or the most sublime. And when you're not doing that, when you're missing the mark, it's badonkadonking, or it's this or it's that, and a 3-letter word in the religions is sinning. You're off the mark. You're off the mark. Well, forgiveness is sometimes you have to practice that. Obviously, you kind of have the intention to forgive, but you don't actually forgive until the moment's actually perfect for it to happen. And I don't know if other people have noticed that within their own realms, or if it's just something that's unique to me, but I definitely have I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a mental intention or a mental idea of forgiveness. And I go through the motions of what I think is forgiving, but after a while, my weave or my spiral comes back, and I've noticed that I'm still clinging to some manner of identity of victim or identity of hurt, identity of pain, identity of this or that. And what context with Marcia brought it up, it's like if I actually give in to true forgiveness, that there's just something I'm allowing that other person or other group or other thing to gain a power over me forever and ever and ever. It's done after that, and it's just not that way. And you'll have to. Everybody has to kind of experience that for themselves. So what I really appreciate, Marcia, the way you said it, it's like for giving me that opportunity to learn and experience within the realm of polarity, which this truly is. We are learning, what it's like for yin and yang to coincide.